Alright, how's it going, guys? We're here talking some Penn State football. In the news this week, Pat Freiermuth is out for the season. Star tight end, probably going to be a high round pick in the draft next year. Uh, he's a guy that apparently has been playing injured for a little while now, and I wonder if it's just like whether the injury has gotten worse or whether he's just not willing to play on it anymore because I wouldn't want to play on an injury for a winless team if I was a top pick either. So like I'm not gonna I can't blame Pat Freiermuth if that is the case. Or maybe it's legitimately just bad enough where, he wants to play but he's not allowed to play because the doctors won't let him play. So I don't know. But um either way his career's mostly done. I mean, I guess he could come back next year. I know he seems to love Penn State and but I wouldn't come back next year. I honestly think he should have left after last season. I said that even before COVID. I said that, before the team is bad. I said that before just in general. I thought that he was a good enough tight end to be picked in, at least day two in the NFL draft. And personally, I think that he made the mistake of coming back. And I'm happy he did in a way because obviously we would love a guy like Pat Freiermuth on our team, but it's from a personal decision making standpoint. I think he made the wrong decision. I think he could be on an NFL team right now, making a lot of money, and starting out his NFL career. Who knows? I think he would do well, but who knows how well he'll be doing in his rookie season. But I think that would have been the better option for him. But it is what it is. I think he'll enter the NFL draft. Um, he should if he doesn't. Um, but if he does come back, we'll obviously welcome him back with open arms. Um, because if he comes back, trust me, that means that he really cares about Penn State. Because I wouldn't want to come back to this team. And we'll see with the tight ends: Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson, um, Zach Kuntz. These young guys that don't have much experience. We'll see how much they can do this season. Hopefully, we can be pretty good in that spot for next season because we know they're talented, or at least from the recruiting standpoint goes. And we've seen um, some flashes from certain players. Um, it's just a matter of getting these guys some experience, and hopefully they're good for next season. Um, Yeah, and it's just disappointing with Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth, Micah Parsons, and Journey Brown were the three players that we were most excited about going into this season, or at least I was most excited about them. And it turns out that all three have disappointing ends to their Penn State careers unless Pat Freiermuth comes back. So it is what it is. All right. In other news, Trent Gordon, a safety, um, has entered the transfer portal. He was a corner when he first entered Penn State, and this season he's been switched to safety. He hasn't really played that much. Um, I don't really blame him from transferring. I don't think that this is like a winning issue. I don't think that since we're 0-5, he's transferring because he doesn't want to lose. I think it's because that he's just not getting much playing time. Um, and he doesn't see a way in the future to get much playing time either because the safety room is pretty deep and full of young guys, and it's just going to get worse next year because that's probably our strongest suit in the 2021 class. Maybe is our safeties and our DBs, and um, so I think that overall, Trent Gordon, this might be the best decision for him to leave. I don't know where he would go. I don't know if he's going to try and get to another Power Five program. Um, he's definitely somebody that could probably start on a FBS team um, somewhere, maybe in a Group of Five conference. But he's a guy that from Texas. They normally don't get recruits from Texas. Um, the two guys that they got from Texas the last few years have now transferred out of the program, or they will be transferring out of the program. unless Trent Gordon comes back out of the transfer portal, which is possible. But well, anyways, Isaiah Humphries, or Isaac Humphries, I think it is, who transferred to Cal, and he's now made a big ordeal with James Franklin and accusations about fights and sexual misconduct and just I don't know a ton of things that have gone on in the program that he says happened that there isn't too much evidence, I don't think, really to support it. But well, anyways, and he's a guy that's created a lot of trouble. Now Trent Gordon, another guy from Texas, is now exiting the program, it seems. And it's just I'm not really too worried about it because I think that, like I said, our safety group's pretty deep. Um, I think both our safeties are returning next year in Lamont Wade and Jaquan Brisker, so I wouldn't be too upset if he left. Um, but it's just another thing about 2020. It's he's leaving. Pat Freiermuth is out for the season. It's just been a tough year in general, but I don't think any other college football program has been hit worse than Penn State this season. All right, well, thank you guys. We are Penn State.